And welcome into the fifth episode of The Company. See, I got it right that time, guys.
Yeah.
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 So again, tonight we
Hey.
got Sosa down here. We got Izzo. We got Rich. We're going to talk about various topics. Some of them may be of importance to you. Most of them will not be. We don't really care. We'll talk about them anyway. First thing I know we wanted to talk about was this new. I wouldn't say beef, or this new uprising thing with Bruno Mars. So a lot of people upset, and I know you guys. I know Sosa was asking about it earlier. What's going on with Bruno Mars? Apparently, there are some of the woke folk who are upset because they think that Bruno Mars is being a culture vulture. That he's taking credit for getting recognition and awards and things for quote unquote black music.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the well, let me tell you that somebody put out a video. I was a young lady, I don't recall her name, but she put out a video saying how we shouldn't support Bruno Mars and how it's a shame that we keep supporting these people who keep taking music from us. And she made some references to how he is pretty much putting out the same music that Prince put out, or any of the other early artists in the early 80s put out, and getting recognition when they never did, because he's getting awards that like Prince never got. And people are taking it as he's being innovative when he's not. Now, I know I don't think Bruno Mars is trying to, and I thought about this earlier because somebody asked me, and I was like, yeah, we should support that man, blah, blah, blah. But I really didn't think about it at that point. You know, I get real protective over the culture sometimes. So at one hand, earlier I did kind of understand why everybody was upset, but now I'm like, why are you doing that? I don't think that he's being a culture vulture. For one thing, he pretty much pays homage to the people that he imitates.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll downright tell you, oh, I love Prince, I love so-and-so, and that's how I modeled my music. So I don't see why anybody is saying that he's trying to take credit or take away from these artists. Now, there are people who are culture vultures. There are people who are taking the culture just for financial gain and shitting on it, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that Bruno Mars is one of them.
I have like a crazy. I want to hear somebody else's. Mine is two-sided, but
All right. It depends. It depends on the way you want to go about it. Like, it is. Bruno Mars is, you know what? I think we said, like, he's like Puerto Rican, Italian, and Jewish.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, something like that, right? So I mean, yeah, sure, fine. But at the same time, he is, one, producing a quality product. Two, he's actually, he is not, converting a style of music to fit a certain narrative to either enter into a market, or he's not trying to say, I'm going to do this style of music just to get by and then like switch over to something else, how we've seen other artists do. Bruno Mars has pretty much been the same artist or type of artist since he's come out. So it's not like he went one way and then kind of...
He started out as a guest on a rap song. Right.
He started out as a guest on a rap song. He's always kind of done like that soul funk pop kind of tone to it. So there is that. The thing we have to remember, though, is that if you're saying cultural appropriation, you're referring to it as if someone is taking something to make it their own, to fit their own narrative. I don't think Bruno Mars does that at all. I think what he does, there is a style of music that he creates, and then he just, he's a master of his craft. I mean, we don't say anything about Eminem being a culture vulture either, but he's a white dude who does rap and does it a lot better than some black artists. So you can't just say like he's a culture vulture in the truest sense of like someone who, like, for example, like the prime example of a culture vulture is probably Iggy Azalea. Iggy doesn't exist Iggy does not exist anymore.
She keeps trying to put out singles, man. When I read Twitter, I'm like, nobody's paying.
No one's buying it because we know what you're trying to do. It's not like you're paying homage to the people who have come in and done the style of music before. He at least acknowledges where his music comes from. He acknowledges how he wants to have it be portrayed. So that's one thing. The other side of that coin is it's not necessarily saying that there is a difference, but let's just be honest. He is creating quality music when there are a lot of artists who are black who are doing crap. And I mean, so it's like there's part of it where it's like there's one side where, you know, unless we can honestly say that, hey, because he is different, that does give him a little bit of an edge. But at the same time, you know, there are artists who say like, well, don't support him. Yeah, but I'm not up for supporting, like, you know, whatever the next little whatever that comes out, you know, with some weird braid concoct in his head. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's like that's a lot to unpack on that. Because when I watched the video and saw the young lady talking, a lot of it just seems like because he's not black, he should not make this music. I don't think, you know, if music is supposed to be a universal language and you have a universal understanding, then if that is the case, then anyone technically can make that type of music. It just happens to be that he just does it so well, and he's not a person who just happens to be of the same ethnic background.
I'm laughing at Sosa's reaction on this whole thing.
I want to hear his view. I got one, but I want to hear his view.
So I'm not a fan of Bruno Mars. I don't listen to this shit. Whatever. I'm straight, you know, I'm hip hop, whatever. But I got to disagree with Rich on, yes, music could be a universal language, but there's still, you do this music, whatever. You can do, a black dude can do country music.
Right.
I've seen one black dude do
Hootie.
You got
Campesino. It's a
Darius.
I forgot. It's the Mexican country music. I've heard a black dude and real good do Spanish country music. Real good. Like he did that shit.
Wow.
But we talked about, and last week we actually talked about culture appropriation and how Elvis didn't give no love to forefathers. None.
Fuck him and John.
He made his money.
Right.
He made his money and dipped. Eminem constantly gives that love back. Yeah. So Bruno, I don't know. Everybody was like, when I first heard of him, everybody was like, oh, he's racially ambiguous until he came out and said he Puerto Rican. Now we got a fucking problem.
Right.
He's giving love to people who influenced him.
Right.
I understand there might be some, I wouldn't say jealousy, but there might be some, I don't know what the perfect word for it is, but Prince didn't get some accolades that he's getting. I understand that. I get that. Prince is fucking genius. And he, in some ways, he wasn't recognized when he should have been.
Right.
That's the music industry. They ain't got shit to do with us. They ain't got shit to do with the artist. So I don't know. I don't know. You know how I feel about that community. I don't fuck with them. I don't agree with half of the shit they say.
Talking about the woke community.
But yeah, fuck them. But
whatever.
You know, it's just I mean, whatever. And if any of you motherfuckers bark at me, we gonna have a problem. Just put that out there.
Jesus Christ.
All right.
But yeah, I don't understand.
You know what? To connect hip hop to this, I kind of feel
if he made money and bounce,
yeah,
then I get it. Yes,
right.
Get his ass.
But he's always been in the mix.
Right.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Fuck Iggy. Fuck Post Malone.
I can't say.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing with the hip hop. Here's the thing with hip hop.
Whatever the fuck. Fuck all these dudes. These people. I'm sorry. These people that take it and run with it, and then I can't do this no more. I'm out.
I don't even think they've taken hip hop. I think we've given it to them. We've given it to them. Look at the artists we put out. Look at the artists that we put out. Even though I know
That's my point.
Even though
that goes right into what my answer was.
Yeah,
it's hard for me.
You got to give Izzo got to give his view. I want to hear yours, and then we'll go into the.
It's like I see what Rich said. I see what Sosa said. I have no problem with Bruno Mars. I like his music. I like how he is as a performer. There really ain't too many people out here. Shit, if you notice Justin Timberlake performance at the halftime show, everybody's like, I didn't really like it. You know who's stolen his thunder over the past couple of years? Bruno done smoked them in that type of stuff. Like, we look at Justin like, who cares about the Man in the Woods guy right now? But like,
he's geographically confused.
But like on the flip side, I think there's an exhaustion when it comes to Bruno, based on the fact is that no matter where you are, you kind of feel like you're kind of getting this music drilled into your head, like it's radio, it's on a commercial. You see he's performing, you see it's this, and you know, as Black people, you see that a lot of your favorite artists aren't out there like that. It's kind of like, you know, where's my artist? Where's my artist? But like me, like I have an example, like me, one of my favorite artists to me that has a Bruno sound, and it did kind of annoy me that Bruno got so popular because this guy's very musical, is a guy named Mayer Hawthorne. But on the flip side, Mayer Hawthorne's a white guy. But not gonna lie. Yeah, but not on the flip side, he has put out like dual albums with a guy named Jake One, who's a producer, white producer, that literally makes music that sounds better than 95% of the R&B music that I hear. But yet they don't get shine because, you know, they're kind of pigeonholed as like, white people try to make soul music. Where is the soul music? You can't be mad at Bruno if he's putting out something that, you know, they can play on an R&B station. They could, you know, having these commercials as something that's good and not saying, hey, I want to fuck this girl like Chris Brown says in every song. It's marketable.
There you go.
So can we be mad? No, I think we be mad at ourselves. That's my point.
Yeah, and like I was saying, we can't be mad that we've given our version of the music away. There's no more hip hop we're putting out. I mean, of course, we don't control the music industry. None of
That's
us.
what I was gonna say.
Control the music industry, but now it seems like whenever, and I was talking to a young kid about this a little while ago. When an artist, a Black artist, comes out and he's a hip hop artist, he's putting out bullshit, because we'll buy it. But it seems like when somebody else is trying hip hop, you know, like a white person, when they're trying to put out hip hop, they're held at such a level that they're putting out hip hop that blows the current artists out of the water. So we've pretty much given hip hop away. We'll accept bullshit from our own people, but it has to be A plus if it's coming from somebody else. So of course these people are going to flourish because they're putting out better music.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, because even in saying that, you know, if you think about anything else that anyone does, it's like if it comes from outside in, it's got to be like at a certain level of competency.
But look at about like the Rolling Stones, the Police, the Beatles, and people like that. Like they idolize a lot of these Black artists, like overindulge themselves in these Black artists, and they got it down to where look, these people
got it to a science.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, so when we say like, all right, so key example, like, you know, when Amy Winehouse came out, right? Like, you know, she was a pretty great.
I ain't fucking with Sosa. Go ahead.
All right. See, I like. To be honest, I liked her first album. I like Frank better than
Frank is better. Frank,
I like that album a lot better than the other one. But even then, it's like she was held at a higher standard, and because she put out, you know, quote unquote better music, then it's like there was attention being drawn, but it was also because she was different. So it's like there's a weird way to look at this, is because you have to perform at a certain level, because you know, like the you know, those that are from other cultures who come in to do music, what happens is that they have to perform at another level of competency for the masses to kind of jump in. Whereas if it's just,
I think it's because they're studying the music more.
That's correct. Yeah, they're perfecting the craft.
Yeah, they're studying. They're listening to these people who sound amazing, and they're mimicking these people who sound amazing. They're taking classes to sound like these people. For somebody that's already in the culture, we already got it. Oh, we don't need to do no studying. We already got it.
You do need to learn your craft. You need to know who comes before you.
Well,
Or you're gonna have
thought process.
a little boat moment where you ain't heard Biggie.
So here's the thing,
Man.
It's a really weird way to look at this because like I just finished with like the PMP exam, right? And you know, past that, whatever, right? And there's this one thing they call in the management thing, they call it the halo effect. And the halo effect, and it's just like, I know I'm probably making a pretty extreme leap here, but the halo effect is when you feel that because you do one thing well, you feel like you can do everything well. So it's like a guy, you know, when Sosa and I talked the other day, it's like a guy who's in the back of the kitchen, who's a dishwasher. It's like, hey man, you wash dishes real well. I think I need to put you on the line as a cook. You know,
a lot of people make those type of mistakes.
So what happens is, so in this case, it might be that, well, you know, because I've heard an album once or twice, it's like I can just go ahead and jump in and be this type of artist. Like I can just go ahead and do it. And then the degradation, it seems like, you know, like Brian was saying, it's like we have just slowly eroded that level of competency that's required in order to be a good artist. Whereas, you know, there are others who, you know, there is a level of passion and love. And I'm not saying like these guys who are doing music, because I cannot stand trap music. I'm not saying that they're not hustlers. That's not the thing. But if you want to put that compared to any of the hip hop, the what they consider the greats now versus the greats back then, if you talk about, you know, lyrical cadence, content, you know, just delivery, I can't understand what you're saying. So how is even delivery a factor into that decision? You know, so it's just a matter of, I think over time, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just music's become.
But see, that's the thing. When you're talking about cadence and timing and all that, what they've done now in order to cover up the fact that they don't believe in cadence and timing and all that, what they're doing now is they're trying to transform hip hop or transform rap into something else. They're saying, "Oh, we're not rappers. Oh, we don't do hip hop." Blah blah blah. Well, what are you doing? And it's just
got something to say.
It's like, let that chopper talk, Sosa.
They just need to leave hip hop alone. I mean, I was raised in that culture, and you know, I'm sure somebody's gonna say, well, it's black culture. No, because if you look back, it was Spanish kids breakdancing in the street. I mean,
Spanish black kids in like Bronx. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
And then that shit moved to Chicago. LA had fucking,
because y'all had house music and stuff, right?
Yeah. But you know, then LA had the poppers.
Stop it, Brian.
But Brian hit it on the head when he said we don't control what music gets put out.
Yeah.
Well, we do. I think we do.
Well, see, yeah, that's the thing. Now we don't control the flow of it. But we can disrupt it if we stop listening to the shit.
Yeah,
we stop buying it. See that's the key, because see, it's like hold on, like, all right. So key example is like when movies come out. It's like if a movie does extremely well, it's like, all right, well, we're gonna make a sequel of it. Transformers: The Last Night was a terrible movie, right?
Oh my god!
All right, so and what has happened since then is that it was acknowledged that, hey, we messed up. Because even though, like, I know that they're guilty pleasures for some, and you know, and you know, I'll be honest, I enjoyed like the first 4 of the movies, at least in some level. This last one was just bad. It just seems, what happens is you get to a point where it's like, oh, this is crap, and then you just have to stop buying it. If you stop buying it, they will stop making it. And the only reason why these artists continue to foster themselves is because they keep making it and people keep buying it. And to get back to what we were talking about with Bruno, is that people enjoy his music, people are going to continue to buy it, and he actually does make, I think, you know, for me, I think he does make pretty solid music. But to say that we cannot control what comes out, you know, but that's also like if you have like the guy who's got a conspiracy theory channel on YouTube, it's like, I can't control that he puts that out. I can control the number of views that he gets, because I'm not going to click on that, because I'm like, this is completely stupid.
Yeah.
And I get that. But what I mean is, we're not the music director. We don't have the right music directors in place to say, take this, nah, don't play that. blah, blah, blah. But you're right. As consumers, we should control something.
I mean, look at
we got little Xanax head motherfuckers listening to this shit.
I forgot who the artist was, but there was an artist, and he was one of these little mumble rapper guys, and they had him in this boardroom. And it was, you remember that?
I remember that.
It was just all white folk. No, not one black person in the room. And he was doing his whole routine, nigga, shirt off, jumping on the table, doing all this stuff. And at the end, they just clap. Because that's the image that the people who control the hip hop world, because they're not us. That's the image that they want out there. That's the image they want portrayed, and it's successfully been transformed into something that was, or that could have been something amazing, into something comical. Because you don't listen to hip hop anymore to learn or to be lifted or to be educated. You listen to hip hop now because it's entertaining, because it's funny.
I don't
because
think
it's gonna make you go out in the gym.
No, it's funny. I mean, to be honest with you, people listen to hip hop now because it's funny. These are clowns, and it's sad. It's the saddest thing in the world to know that every artist or everything that's playing on the radio is funny now. I don't take these guys seriously.
All the OGs,
put your bitch in some Gucci flip-flops.
I don't take them seriously. If I ran into a group of them now, I wouldn't take them seriously. I walk right by them because they're comedians to me. They're not funny comedians. They're just comedians. Hip hop is comedy now. I don't even disagree when somebody says I don't listen to hip hop. That's crap. I'm like, I know it's crap. I don't even disagree with them anymore.
I had hope, and this was years ago, obviously, when Jay took over Def Jam and Scarface took over Def Jam South.
Yeah.
Music was going to be like, that was going to be the beginning. Okay, now, since Jay did that, so let's see Redman take a label. Let's see Nas take a label. And I thought, they would start bringing in the OGs. That didn't happen. And now we got a bunch of clowns putting out, talking shit about Biggie, Tupac, whatever. And they're looking at these bioepics thinking, well, we can do that.
Some of y'all, I don't even want to hear y'all story.
In 5-6 years, we're going to get a fucking Lil Yachty bioepic.
Yeah, he's probably right. And it's only
how when he's 10. You can't do a biopic of somebody who had just got out of middle school and started rapping.
But
it'll happen in that boy life.
But it'll sell.
That's the way he rap. He can't breathe. So he need to learn how to do that.
Bow Wow bum ass gonna get a movie about himself. I bet you.
Hey, but you gotta remember, man. Bow Wow had these chicks on lock back then.
Yeah, but
it's hard to bite that bullet. He did. That's why he was smashing them and dashing them.
Impeccable, but whatever. I don't. Fuck them. I'm just bothered by the whole thing.
I'm not going to knock Yachty and them as men, because I don't know them. But all I can do is talk about what they put out, and what they're putting out is crap. It's comedy.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's comedy rap. It's crap. Comedic rap. You're putting out crap. So
the motherfucker, remember the NBA All-Stars rapping? That album was probably better than any shit they got out now.
Shit, I like 1492 was dope.
That night.
You remember Jermaine Dupri movie that never came out?
Oh, we were jamming.
Oh man,
did that movie ever come out? That was a movie, right?
It was an album, but it said like
I thought it was a soundtrack to a movie.
Nah.
Yes. Hold up. I'm about to Google this. What was it? 1492?
72.
Yeah.
72.
What is 1492?
I don't know.
Something Ocean Blue.
The Ocean Blue, right?
Dupree.
My
Life.
teachers did not
1472. Okay.
Life of 1472.
I mean, there's some artists I like out here now. Like I like Travis Scott, of course, Kendrick. I ain't the biggest fan of Cole. People be like, "What?" I'm not. I listened to the album once and I don't listen to him again. Like Logic, there's people out here, but the cream is rising to the top. But man, there's a sea of trash,
man.
Oh, that was
and to be fair though, we had our share of garbage.
Oh, so
we
had
our fair share of trash.
What's your area? Your
everything
area.
by No Limit.
Steve-O?
Hey, listen, everything
Steve-O?
by No Limit was crap. Everything by No Limit was garbage, but it's way better than what's out
What's
now.
crazy is Mystical was the best, but yet he wasn't even technically signed to it.
Nah, he
was
wasn't.
just in the crew. He was on Jive. People forget that. Yeah.
So, shout out.
I actually fuck with Young Bleed. I actually fuck with Young Bleed.
L. I caught that. All right.
We had our fair share of trash in hip hop, and
you're right.
But listen, our crappiest rappers, not counting No Limit, but our worst rappers were better than what's out now. Our worst rappers.
Even going back to Dipset, I wasn't a big Dipset fan, but I would listen to them now over anything now, and I couldn't stand them back then.
Oh yeah, Dipset was.
I couldn't stand them. Ugh.
And you can. Oh yeah, there's just so much trash. I mean, oh my god, there was so much trash. Man. Mims, garbage.
Mims.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know, but yeah. I'm just disappointed where hip hop went.
Yeah,
I know R&B is not hip hop, but it's part of the
culture. They merged together years ago, and it ain't where it need to be either. That's why these 90s scores are just like blowing money out the water because people want that. That's why you got the Young Cat, Swagger Jack, and 90s R&B songs, and those are the songs blowing up.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot,
I heard one tonight.
Made one more song that Swagger Jack, an R&B song for the 90s on the screen.
I heard one tonight. And it took
he always make one, or is this somebody else?
Kissing You. Somebody took the beat from Kissing You and redid a whole nother song over it by
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, that's bad too.
Oh, what were you about to say before that?
I don't know. I'm just looking up 90s hip hop artists to see who was worse than what's out now. And I don't see anybody. Shit, even Beastie Boys, they get an honorary.
No, Beastie Boys was decent. They were a punk.
Not in the 90s, they weren't.
Oh no!
By the 90s, they were trash.
And What You Want? That was 92. That's 92.
Yeah, but I mean, 2 songs out of 2 albums. I mean,
you didn't like Intergalactic Sanitary, some shit like
that. No.
Intergalactic Sanitary is planetary, brother.
It's right. Yeah.
I wasn't gonna correct him.
I knew it was wrong. That's right.
Oh man.
Oh, shit.
I don't see anybody that was garbage.
See, but you gotta remember your level of standard from now to back then, because like back then they might have been complete crap, but now.
But you gotta remember Beastie. Well, not to say we on Beastie Boys, but somebody like 5 to 10 years older than like us will be like, "How you gonna climb the Beastie Boys?"
It's like, well, that's quite easy.
I mean, Beastie Boys 80s. Beastie Boys 80s and Beastie Boys 90s are 2 different.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
They had to convert, man.
Shit,
I don't
see anybody.
And you can't put them into the cultural appropriation because they always gave love to.
What about MC Brains?
Place to be.
Trash.
Listen to these names, man.
Def Jam, dog. But go ahead.
K7.
Smith and Wesson, Jurassic 5, Souls of Mischief, MOP. These dudes were amazing.
What about Crucial Conflict?
But they were underground.
Hey, I like Crucial Conflict. Damn it, I had that album.
Hey, yo, their DJ came for me on Twitter when I clowned them one time. This shit was hilarious.
Did he?
Yeah. I was like, y'all still exist? I'm like, I'm sorry, everybody else. That
DJ came out of nowhere. Hey, no go.
Oh.
And then like they mainstream.
Man, I go. You wait a minute. Where you been? Who is Be Real? Oh, that's the dude from
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill. Yeah. BG Knockout? I don't know who that is.
Somebody just put their name on that Wikipedia.
From Ruthless. BG Knockout was from Ruthless.
Oh, okay.
He was after Dre left. He was part of the Get at Death Row camp.
I was more of a Twista fan before he went mainstream.
When he was Tongue Twister, or like the
I was a Twista early college. It was like Get It Wet. Yeah. Not the whole Midnight Celebrity or whatever.
Hey, I like that song though. We used to jam.
Shout out to Chicago. Stand up.
Stand up.
Or duck.
No.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that hurt.
Oh, Sosa know I'm playing. I ain't going to Chicago, but he know I'm playing.
Hey, shout out to Lena Waithe on the Shaft. She run a great show.
Bing, bing, bang.
Well, Westside Connection got 3. Well, one good artist. I ain't a Dub C nor a
Dub C, the only one.
Mac 10 is trash.
Yeah, I mean, he was all right on the Friday soundtrack, and then after that, it was like, who the fuck are you?
Mac 10, if you ever see this, I didn't say that, so please don't come kill me.
Fuck him.
Nah,
he
back T-Boz, and that's all you.
He used to beat on T-Boz. Fuck that nigga.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he did? Oh, fuck yeah, fuck that. I said it.
Hey, I used to love T-Boz.
Remember MC8?
Oh,
MC8
yeah.
MC8.
Yo, he spit a hot verse on Kendrick album years back. Not that long. Well, about 4 or 5 years ago. So he's still doing it.
That shit he put out with Primo recently was good. I mean, it was all right.
Hey, when does the Royce the 5'9" and Primo album drop? It dropped yet? The second one?
That already dropped.
The second one already dropped?
Yeah, hold on.
Oh, okay.
You know I fuck with Primo.
Oh yeah, that Prime album, that first one, Lord Jesus. The best song I heard was only 2 minutes long. I was pissed. All right. Did you find a bad one?
No, I can't.
Well, I mean, you can't
Silk,
probably.
I mean, Silk the Shocker. There we go. Silk.
I told you that one already.
But that's no limit.
Turk was better than him.
50.
Tim Dog.
Crash. Deltron 3030.
Who's Tim Dog? Who's Tim Dog? That sounds familiar.
Fuck Compton.
Yeah, Tim Dog was the one that Snoop them kept picking on. I think they was keeping people albums from coming out. That's how.
But you got to remember back then, everybody jumped on that Compton bandwagon where you had every little record label running to Compton to find a rapper. So shoot, everybody probably started rapping.
Yeah.
Dove Shack, trash.
This is the Shack. This is how we.
One hit wonders. One hit wonders have to count as trash.
Skilo.
One hit wonders have to count as trash.
Skilo.
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice wasn't a one hit wonder, was it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you count the song from the Turtles movie.
Ninja rap.
I thought he had more than
Bubba Sparks.
He was all right.
Bubba was all right. He was all right.
Bubba had a couple songs.
Yeah, he was. I ain't never heard nothing crazy about him. I let him be great.
Bubba was all right.
I don't fuck with him.
It's just he got over sensationalized when you mess with Timbaland. His beats are just over the top at times. For me, I know that sounds crazy.
Magoo trash.
Oh, we all knew that.
Magoo was a producer. He was more of a producer though.
He was a glorified hype man.
Yeah, kind of like DJ Khaled and Diddy. I don't understand why Khaled is getting like an artist award. Is he an artist?
I don't get it because if you look at it, he's not the one producing the song. So I'm very
appropriation.
He yells a lot.
For real. I guess he's the guy that makes the call to get the people together that they send their files. But other than that, I mean,
so he's just basically collecting a finder's fee.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, I don't understand.
We'll never know his secret, or else we'd all be making his money. So we never really
know his secret. He ain't us.
Uh-oh. I was about to say a bad word. It was 2 bad words.
Oops. Oh, speaking of bad words. Bitch! Speaking of bad words.
Segue!
So let me hit that real quick.
Oh,
I forgot my bell.
You want me to set it up for you?
No, you know that Brian set it up first.
I'm gonna set it up here.
Okay, go ahead, Brian.
We received some constructive criticism over our choice of words here on the company. One of our illustrious members here can't stop saying bitch. All right. So, Sosa. I don't mean to call you out, but you know, is there something?
It's constructive criticism, and
it was constructive.
It was awesome.
100% get it.
Tell him to stop. But it was like, you know, it's everything is going to push somebody a certain way at any given time.
Yeah.
So that's the last thing we want to do. So I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about why or
right.
your use.
If I'm going to push you away because you're trash, I'm going to do that. But if it's for a legit reason, which some people don't like the word bitch, because automatically we're assuming I'm talking about a woman. I'm not. I talk about men too. It's a unisex word.
I'm just thinking about stink meter the whole time.
But like but if you guys know me, if I'm talking about a woman who I have a respect for, I'm never gonna call her a bitch. Never. Lady, that woman, whatever.
Yeah, you ride
Carrie. Carrie, to me, is a woman. I'll never call her a bitch.
Carrie who?
Champion.
Oh, I was like, Carrie.
You know what I'm saying? Someone who carries themselves like that.
That is, woo, Lord Jesus, Carrie. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, though. But the chick from Fox, I said, dumb bitch. And actually, when I'm sitting with my beautiful significant other, and I say, hey, babe, you saw what this dumb bitch said? I said, what'd she say? So, no, but she did. Because, but I mean, point taken. I'll
go ahead.
Try to substitute another word for it, but there are some words we have purged from our vocabulary. I don't say faggot no more.
Likewise.
I get it. Like we used to say, growing up, we used to call men who were just punks, not gay, but who were just, hey, faggot, motherfucker, whatever. I purged that because it's gonna be taken wrong no matter what.
Yeah, right. There's not too many ways you can take that the other way.
Yeah,
right. Like Ice-T said, ladies, we just not talking about you because some of you N-words are bitches too. So that's where I come with that. But point taken, I can substitute. That's no problem. It's just.
Do you think do you think that people have become oversensitive?
Yes.
Is it being oversensitive?
No, it depends on the situation.
Is it being oversensitive, or is it just people need something to bitch about?
Shut the hell.
Now we're getting into the language.
What do you? I mean, you can't. It depends. Like there's a certain group of people who say, "I hate being called racist," and then they'll say some racist shit. You can't. How the fuck are you oversensitive? And I'm not just talking about white people. There's Spanish people who do the same shit.
Black people do the same shit.
There's black people who do the same shit.
Right.
What the fuck? You just said some suspect shit. That's what you are.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's oversensitive. People want to bitch about. I mean, you can't generalize. My thing is you can't generalize. It has to be taken case by case.
I just the whole thing with
if you raise a Confederate flag, I'm gonna have to call you what you are.
Shit, are you kidding me?
What?
Off topic, on topic. Well, not on topic, but off topic. I just read this story. You remember the girl with the roommate who was smearing bodily fluids on her stuff?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, didn't she get off?
College student who smeared bodily fluids on black roommates' belongings received special probation to avoid criminal record.
Whoa, what? It's
if
privilege.
That's not a hate crime. I don't know what it is, fam.
Are you serious?
Oh, and then the bomb.
Then the what? What happened?
The 3 bombs that went off in Austin.
When?
Today.
Yeah, oh, dude, I've been working all day. I missed that.
Those are going to be labeled hate crimes.
What happened? How did that happen?
Because it was Hispanic and black people who getting hit.
Oh, I got you. I didn't know nothing about it, so you just said it.
No, but that's privilege, Brian. That's straight privilege.
That's sad, man. That is very, very sad.
I mean, you literally
give her the criminal charges and let her expunge it like everybody else has to do.
Right. Yeah, get her catch a charge and call it a day. But man, it's like she literally took bodily fluids. I mean, 1 is gross. 2, it's like that's not something that I don't want to say it. You don't just think like
this is where
I'm just gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and take. I'm just gonna take my piss and lay it out everywhere. That just doesn't. That's not something that comes across your mind. Like that takes special care and thought, because bodily fluids typically go into the proper receptacle, such as a toilet. You had to actually think, you know what? This does not need to go there. This needs to go across her toothbrush and the counter.
I was the parent.
Yeah, that's my Lord. I can't even understand. Like there is no way someone could say that that course of action is justified for her, as far as saying that she's going to do something to get her from being for criminal charges to be put on her. No, she needs every bit of that. Like every bit of that, because they're we can't time to do that.
They want us to be a part of society and to be productive and all this, and they want us to act like we're a part of everything. But when things like this happen, it really just kind of shows you that they don't even think of us as people who deserve the respect and the right and the dignity to have somebody prosecuted when we're done wrong. So when we do, because it may happen, and it may happen sooner or later, when we do snap, because we're tired of this same shit constantly happening, we're going to be the ones being labeled as violent and animals and barbaric and rioters and looters and all this. But this is stupid. And
there's no other way to say that. No.
It just keeps happening. And I don't understand what you're expecting us to do eventually. Like, are we just supposed to be just keep falling in line and going about our day like this shit isn't happening?
Soft shoe forever.
I don't want to send my nephew and my niece to a school where they can be violated like this and nothing happens to the person that did it. I'm gonna get involved. And then when we start personally taking shit into our own hands and giving our own form of justice, then it's gonna be a whole nother thing.
How about
we'll burn it down, just like Killmonger said, burn it down.
Man. Bruh, like if we want to see something change real quick, let a substantial influx of firearm owners, like that are minorities. Let's see what happens with like any sort of I
keep saying we should join the NRA.
Well, to get to even that point, the reason why California has some of the strictest gun laws in America is because when Reagan and the NRA saw that the Black Panthers were doing open carry,
yes, sir.
That's why that happened.
Yes, sir.
It's one of those things where you can't just be like, oh, it's all for like, for the betterment of community and this, that, and the other, and things aren't treated equally. I mean, there's that example. We are faced with an example where almost 50 years ago, where the issue of carrying a weapon into a public place was being vilified, but it was only because it was a certain demographic. It's not because because if I guarantee you, if let's say we had an influx of gun owners that were minorities in Chicago all of a sudden that were legally carrying them, we have to look at. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like you look at the problem we will be evaluated completely differently. So it's weird that we literally have these two events that have happened where someone can get off completely. Because this young lady, I mean, like to say that she had her stuff tainted by somebody else as a not only just the common decency, that's a biohazard.
She got sick.
Yes.
She got sick. She couldn't talk. Her throat closed up.
I mean, man. Like, there's no way to say that even could be. That shouldn't even have been a thought.
That's a black bag operation for me.
I don't even want to know what that means.
Ask me no questions, I will tell you.
Exactly. That's some old military motherfucker just disappeared for no reason. Shit. I don't want to know what you're talking about. I want to Google it, but then I don't. So
get on a Google VPN.
You don't fight the establishment head on. Is all I'm gonna say.
No, you do not, sir.
I'm telling you, like I said, something's going to happen. When people get tired of it, they will fight back. You're cornering a bear, and we're trying to be nice about it. We're doing sit-ins, we're kneeling, we're boycotting. It's going to get old.
There should be a petition on that judge who did that ruling, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's not.
Because that's an elected official, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's already taking place, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Somebody need to start up a petition.
Yeah, because that doesn't make sense.
If she manages to stay out of trouble and complete those requirements, she has requirements in order to stay out of jail. The charges she faced, breach of peace and criminal mischief, will be tossed out after 2 years.
Breach of peace and criminal?
Bruh, she almost killed this chick.
Bruh, that should have been assault. Like, there is no way.
I'm about to say that could be construed as assault.
That's considered. If you spit on somebody, that would be considered assault.
Yeah.
I mean,
she didn't. That was way more than spit.
Oh, right. Wow. I can't.
I can't fathom. I'm confused. I don't know.
That's why I fear, man. I fear for my niece and my nephew because they gotta grow up in this place where these kids now have hate in their heart, and they don't even know why.
Because they're taught.
I think that's the thing that's the most concerning is that that we have gotten to a place to where it's ingrained in, I don't want to say culturally, but it's become where these kids are literally just repeating the same narrative from those that came before them. Mm-hmm. Simply just because like if most people took a moment just to think about why they thought a certain way, you kind of realize that the logic behind it breaks down really, really quickly.
I think it's just all a mental instability.
They don't give a shit to think about that.
I think it's something wrong. It's something wrong with them. How are you going to treat somebody differently? And it's cliche because it's been being said 400 years plus. But how are you going to treat somebody differently who is just darker than you?
That's because it's ingrained in them.
That's the whole difference.
It's ingrained in them.
That's it.
It's ingrained in them to justify it by saying, well, they're animals.
How?
How can those animals breed with you and make children?
Well, that stems, but to get to Sosa's point, that stems back from all the way to when Africans were coming over on slave ships, is simply because they were treated as such. Like, right, and that's when someone, because remember when Anderson Cooper found out that his great grandfather was killed, and he said like, well, the thing was, he said cause of death was death by Negro. I mean, it's like, wait, what? Like,
it's not like being attacked by a bear. Death by Negro.
Right. But that's actually, it's not saying, if you just look at it, Black people have been systematically treated as subhuman, and the after effect of that just hasn't washed off. Mm-hmm. It's the way that it's been, and unfortunately, it's going to take,
a major.
Society. Yeah, it's going to take a major upheaval, but it's a major understanding of society to get to a place where it's like understanding that, hey, literally the only difference between us is the fact that my skin just happens to be a little darker than yours. But that's it. Yep. It's like it's just weird that in the age where we have limitless communication and limitless, technological resources to get an understanding of how people work, it's amazing that we still are actually debating about the fact, because we can scientifically prove that there's virtually very limited differences. Now, of course, there's some genetic traits that may be associated with one group or another, but as a you know, human races don't exist. I mean, we're all technically Homo sapiens. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But I mean, my thing is everything as far as what people knew about the world and nature has evolved.
right.
Okay, now they thought the New World was a unicorn, you know, and they went out on unicorn hunts. You know,
Oh yeah.
they thought the duck-billed. No, the serious, this is
Right.
serious shit. And you know what a narwhal is? They thought
Yeah.
the
So the
duck-billed
whale was
platypus.
it's like the porpoise with the giant single horn.
Yeah, they thought the duck-billed platypus was a hoax at first, and they thought it was some kind of magical creature that could grant wishes. You know, so everything that they thought has evolved except what they think about black folk, and I think that's just the weirdest shit.
That is weird because you got wolves and all types of things that look different on different continents, but yet they're technically the same thing. They just evolved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you gotta think, man. They thought I forgot what they thought about zebras, but they had some kind of weird made up thing about zebras or why they had black stripes, and you can go from that to it's just blah blah blah, a horse with stripes, but you still think a black man is an animal. You still think he's so related to the monkey that you know it's just like all he does is talk.
You're just as related to the monkey as I am. Shut up.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I don't see how everything else can. I don't see how everything else can get the respect to science and life and evolution, but we can't.
It doesn't. I mean, it's not profitable. Because what that then does is that pulls not only a belief, but it also levels the playing field. Truly, because then once you realize that you aren't special, it's like I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear I'm not special anymore.
Yeah. You're right. You ain't special. You ain't.
That's funny shit.
There's all these examples of how, you know, I don't know how they can say, you know, black people animals and then have all these examples of like extraordinary mental capacity, hidden figures.
Right.
You can't tell me somebody in Alabama or I'm sorry, Arkansas. Let's say Arkansas because they had the worst education growing up. They could compete with them women.
Right.
Well, you know now, like, wait a minute now, boy. You know, the sun shines on a dog's ass every now and then, so even the monkey can get a math problem right.
No, that's a lot of shining. That's a lot of shining. Like, even take the Native Americans. They was considered subhuman because they weren't all the way there. So
yeah, but they knew how to cultivate things on the right type of land, while the other people exhausted the land by making stuff they shouldn't have been planting and killing the land and then kicking the people off the land.
I don't know. It's just racism is it's tough. I'm tired of it. Honestly, I'm tired of it, but it's tough.
What the hell is going on? Okay. Yeah. What was the other thing we were supposed to be talking about?
Yeah, let's talk about that. I don't want to go down that. Oh, what we talk about that? Yeah, let's talk about her.
Yeah, speaking of education, talking about Betsy DeVos.
Hey, Betsy DeVos.
Can I say it now?
No.
I mean, you know, it's like I don't know what kind of logic. Like, how do you even get to? And just for the listeners out there in context. She did a 60 minutes interview, and some are complaining that, you know, it was quote unquote heavily edited, but she did this interview talking about school systems, and her argument was that if you pull resources away from the school, they will get better. And then it just you watch as she's trying to explain herself out of it based on the school system in Michigan, that it just implodes completely. And you're watching this like this is the person who is supposed to be looking out for the best interest of these children, yet
where does that money go?
Has no idea about how this actually is going to work. I think the thing that bothered me the most about it was the logic that if you pull resources away from something, then it gets better. So then that means technically we should pull money from government, and then I guess it would still work better.
No.
Just clear out the White House. Let's see how
Right.
good.
Well, clear out the White House. Here's I guess my thing is like
Oh, right. Can't go golf if you do that.
if we started saying, nah, you know, if all these politicians to get reelected, just eliminate outside funding for their campaigns. Just eliminate it completely. Let's see who actually rises to the top at that point.
The Koch brothers ain't gonna fund all of
Rising
y'all.
to the top.
I like
Give
this
it all
song.
you got. Hey, I'm reading some of the tweets. Somebody said, I thought the Betsy DeVos interview was an episode of Drunk History. But it turns out she's the Secretary of Education.
Yo,
Oh
this,
my
she's so
God.
bad.
Why is she there?
Well, you know why.
I mean,
A whole bunch of
like I said earlier,
She
that's
paid
why
for that
we've
spot.
been
Go
doing
ahead.
fundraisers our whole life
about
in
school.
education.
Yeah.
Education has always had not, we've always been underfunded. We selling, and we as parents complain about, well, they send my kid with some fucking candy again. You want to buy something?
I know I got stuck for $40 for some cookies.
Fuck,
Those
man.
better be the best
I mean,
cookies of all time.
yeah, but still, man, why are we getting these fundraisers? Because these motherfuckers won't give us money.
World's
And I
finest
feel
chocolate.
sorry for teachers. I
Oh
feel
yeah,
sorry for the
please
teachers.
feel sorry for them.
They're-
Yeah.
I hated some of my teachers. They still didn't deserve this shit. Well, my seventh grade teacher, fuck her. I didn't like her. But everybody else, they don't deserve that shit.
But you know, it's weird that we honestly think like that. You're talking about these people are providing instruction to those that are going to potentially be the innovators and the future leaders of our society, and we give them the resources at the lowest possible level to be able to instruct them. How is it that, like, how do you think that's going to turn out? Like at the end of the day, like if we are literally trying to we have an education system that it really depends on where you are, but in a lot of places it's broken. It's not providing the proper education, the proper, tools for someone to succeed outside of just being able to, functionally be literate.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn around, you see stuff like this, and it's just like, is she really talking like she has no clue or no idea? Because she even said that she hasn't made an intentional visit to any of the lower performing schools to see what's going on.
She's not either. No.
Don't you remember what happened when she did?
Oh yeah, well yeah. I mean,
She won't make it out.
yeah.
I almost said it. That she's not going nowhere. I can't call her a lady. She's not going.
No.
She's trash, man. She's hot
agree.
garbage.
I agree with you, Rich.
But-
How are you going to sit here and try?
But the hardest part of her day, and here's one thing to put in perspective. The hardest part of her day is sitting in front of a mic. After that, once that hour's done, she's got 23 hours to bullshit.
Yeah, she's not doing anything behind the scenes.
No.
So if you're gonna make me sit in front of a microphone and tap dance for 1 hour a day, well, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we call you to get a phone interview? Nah, call me later. Well, my secretary will get with you. I'm going golfing or whatever the fuck she does. Knitting, I don't know.
I just don't get it, man. Like,
You can't even front. I know she does nothing. I don't even want anybody to say, well,
She doesn't care.
No, she doesn't do anything. She probably got
Sosa hit it right on the point. Like, she don't care, and I think that's what
because she paid for her spot. We know how everybody got into the cabinet
Yeah.
in those roles. They paid for their spot.
And that's what
They
I'm
can
getting.
stand for their spot. Look at what is the dude, Secretary of Energy? What's his name? From Texas? Is it from Texas?
Talking about
Rick?
is it Rick Tillerson?
Huh?
Rick
No,
Tillerson,
no, no,
Secretary of State. What's the guy's name? Rick Perry.
Yes, he
Yeah.
didn't even know and still barely knows what he's supposed to do and what he's over.
Mm-mm.
Oh, they don't know.
He just put money into the pot so he can get a spot. So he'll be living cush for the rest of his life. That's
You know
all it
what?
was.
You know what's
If you-
beautiful about this though? You can find a silver lining in this. So what's going on is you have all these people in these spots that we never either knew existed or didn't care exist. So now we know what these people are supposed to be doing and how they're screwing it up. So when we do get an opportunity to get these people replaced, we know who we're looking for to replace them with.
And what qualities we need. But these people are like, dang, they didn't even read the booklet, the pamphlet.
No. And like I said, it's a good thing. It has a lot of us learning more about politics we didn't know before.
No, absolutely.
Because we're seeing all these people do absolutely nothing and then lie about it. So it's making us research what are you supposed to be doing?
Right.
You know,
I hope Chance the Rapper goes back and does the same thing he did last year or 2 years ago. I hope he does it this year again.
What's
and
that?
Takes everybody to the fucking voting. He took like a big number of people to go vote. He needs to do that again this year.
Well, see that, and that's the thing with voting. I understand what it's supposed to do, but this whole electoral college thing kind of vexes me.
It blocks.
I get that too,
but think about what. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All I was gonna say, you're right. Like, you can pretty much tell from the way we talk which way we vote in most cases, not 100%, but in the state I live in, okay, I vote Democratic, probably 90 to 95% of the time. Does my vote mean nothing 90% of the time? Pretty much, but it's not going to change the way I vote. But but to me, I'm almost not affecting the outcome. But do I get like bent out of shape in it? No, but something does have to change on that part.
See, the purpose of the Electoral College is to kind of get away from mob rule, is what the intent is. So it's like a republic. The problem is I really don't think it's the Electoral College entirely. I think what our issue is that we have an uninformed electorate. I think the people that are voting are the ones that, you know, let's just be honest. There are many people who vote one side or the other strictly because that's what daddy told them to do, and all through their life they did it that way and then kept moving. Like, how many people actually, like, to be honest, when it came time to vote, really knew the platforms of the candidate that they were voting for? Like, in many cases, it's just like, well, I'm voting for this person because I didn't like the other guy, or I'm voting for this person because that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't think, you know, we're not having like dedicated discussions where it's like, I'm voting for this person because I can actually speak on the policies that they are trying to put in place. It's like, well, I'm voting Democrat because I'm X, or I'm voting Republican because I do this. It's not. I don't think we've gotten to that point. I think, you know, if we could start getting to where we actually are voting because of the electorate, like the electorate starts voting based on the actual issues and policies, I think we'll be better off. The other problem with that is, though, is that we have these two general categories. Like, you have Democrat, Republican. I mean, you know, how many things in life are really that binary where it's like a 50-50 split all the way down?
Well, that's why you got the Green Party and
Libertarian and all that shit.
You have all these other parties, but again, it's also because, you know, one, people are looking at the idea of what can win, but the other is it's like you know those other two parties by name. You know those, like, you know, Democrat, you know, Republican. Someone says Green Party, like, I don't know what whatever her name is talking about, Jill Stein. I don't know what she's talking about. So
Fox.
So it's more of a matter of how it's marketed and how people actually do the research to find out what their candidate's talking about, which a lot of people don't do.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just don't understand the whole thing. I mean, I understand it. I don't like it. Sometimes I think I'm probably like one political debacle away from being an anarchist. I'm like, burn it all, fuck it all.
Edit that shit.
Need them.
Edit
Let's
that
move
shit.
ourselves. Huh? I'm not saying I'm gonna blow nothing up. It's just that sometimes I just don't see the point of government.
the government is supposed to work for the people. I just don't think that it does.
They don't.
It's a great idea. It's just
they haven't for a long time. They don't know who the people are. They don't know who they're fighting
for. That gets to the previous point that I just made. It's that we, the people, have the power to put these people or remove them out of office. So, you know, you have people that are voting against their own interest. You have people who are just voting because this is what CNN or Fox News tell me I should vote for. Mm-hmm. So it's not like,
first of all, if you're listening to Fox News, then you're probably a moron.
I wouldn't say that completely. But I mean, it's a hard sell. I mean, I wouldn't say that completely, but you could say the same thing. Well, I would say the level of logical leaps you have to make to listen to some of the stuff that Fox News put out, it's a little, you know,
moronic.
Yeah, you have to go kind of all in on that one.
Well, their average viewer is like 64 and up, so
morons.
Motherfuckers don't fact check shit.
So I mean, so I think what the biggest thing to do is to just get people educated on who to vote for. Because I think really if people thought about why they voted for certain things, it's like if you had a general, like a legitimate conversation about why they voted for this person, it's like they're basically just repeating their campaign speech. Mm-hmm. Like they're not actually saying the things that actually impact them. It's more
you read the catalog.
Yeah. you literally just went to, you know, such and such.com and saw
right.
Like, these are the things that they're after. It's like, well, do you know how they're going to do that? Nah, but you know, they say they're going to do it, so I'm going to vote for them.
Oh, like the wall.
Yeah.
Like the wall.
Man, fuck that wall, man.
Like, yeah. Wasn't that you that posted that in the chat? Is that what I saw that from?
Rich posted it. That shit was hilarious.
Okay, yeah, I was crying.
What?
Yeah, I was crying. The thing about the wall today.
What did I post?
Because I don't know how many ways he had to phrase it for him to understand.
Oh yeah. It was like,
yeah, he was like, bruh.
Yeah, it's
if
like,
he does not build the wall by 2020, will you vote for him? Like, answer the damn question. It's pretty much what you almost had to say.
Yeah, nah.
I mean, but that's the thing.
I was listening to that with my kids in the car, and it was like, my 13-year-old was like, how many he gonna ask? How it's either yes or no. How many times he gonna ask the same question? That's because he was getting mad at the guy asking the questions, and I was like, nah, baby, he's trying to get him to say no because he's just stupid. And then he finally got it, and I was like, yeah, this dude.
There's no
my
chance.
kids was like, what the fuck is going on?
But see, that gets to that point. It's like no one really is voting on. They're voting on the things that sound good, but they're not voting on like. There is no way, and there's no way that a lot of politicians that if they actually went for real jobs, they would get hired.
No,
like I'm not saying, and that's not Republican. That's Democrat too. Like
I don't fucking with either. Yeah,
right.
Fuck
you know what I've noticed? A lot of times if somebody in the political realm is not well versed in what they're doing, it's on another level. So it's like they don't know what they're doing, but they're so above what you understand. You don't know that they don't know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
These people that are in their positions now are so fundamentally stupid. It's your 12-year. Now, I'm not calling your 12-year-old son stupid, but he understood that whoever was talking didn't know what they were talking about.
Right.
You know, it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Remedial.
Fucking remedial.
Yeah, it's remedial. Their knowledge base, what they're doing, how they're going to talk to everybody is so remedial. It makes the entire nation look remedial. That's why I don't think North Korea or Russia or anybody else is worried about us, because we're led by a group of remedial individuals who somehow fell into money, probably not on their own. It was probably handed down to them like Trump and all his money. So we're not a threat.
Mm-hmm.
We are mumble rap of the world right now. We had something. We had something. And we were putting out 16 bars.
But we regress so far
right
so
now,
quickly, man.
You love our beats, but we ain't saying shit.
Ooh, man.
That's technically what we are right now.
I mean, with Bush, they threw slippers at him or shoes at him.
Mm-hmm.
With Obama, they wouldn't even shake his hand. With Obama, they wouldn't even shake his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Now with this motherfucker, they were like, we don't even want to come to the table.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't. And that's the thing with the whole Obama thing. They probably didn't like him, but they respected our country because of the steps we were taking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
To see the whole world celebrate when he got elected, that meant something. And I hope people saw that in a way.
They don't. They didn't. The ones that don't like him and will worship a guy who has 17 sexual misconduct allegations.
They need to see that to know there's a lot of people that don't look like y'all around this world. So just don't think that
most of the world is most of the world.
Yeah,
most of the world is brown.
And it shouldn't mean anything, but y'all are making it something.
Speaking of that guy, so the porn star is giving him till noon tomorrow to say something.
I just read about that.
I was looking at that a second ago on my phone. That's why
I am so ready to hear this story.
Here's the thing. Here's what I like, and this is something I did see the other day. Is that they were saying that the NDA could potentially be enforced simply because she took the benefit without, like, even though it wasn't signed, she took the benefit, like took the money.
Mm-hmm.
However, she's talking about, I give you 130K back. It ain't no problem. So
she know how much she about to get for this book.
Right. Yeah, exactly. She knows that 130K. Yeah, it's like, but she can get publishing rights on a book, get a movie on Lifetime. Yeah, she'll be straight. So and put her story out there, and then be able to do speaking engagements forever. Please.
Yeah.
She
about to be on the oxygen.
She don't have to ride nobody no more.
She wasn't gonna have to ride nobody when she rode him the first time. Oh, you about to
applaud her?
Give me this.
I applaud her. Can't knock the hustle.
I mean, not at all. And that's what it's funny that like how at what point are we going to just start being like, look, something is not right, because there is no. Could you imagine if any other president, not even Barack Obama, if any other president would have done something at this level and would have said, you know what? We actually could have an actual headline that said President gags porn star, because he put out a gag order against.
I thought the headline was already out.
No, well, I mean, it probably was.
Yeah.
But it's like there's got to be a point to where you just gotta like, look, I understand that you may have. You voted for him, and that's fine. It's not a problem if you voted for the man. And there are a ton of times where I can actually say I've made a bad decision in life and had to own up to it. There is a certain level of moral ineptitude with if you're saying that, because could you imagine like all the other things that kind of defy some of the political norms, like having. I mean, it's not like this dude had, and the argument is that he did this before he was president, which, yeah, sure, that's fine. But this would be political suicide for anybody else as far as their supporting their base. It's like this dude.
That's my.
What's the guy from New York? Was the governor of New York or whatever? That did some dumb shit. I'll figure it out. Keep going. I'll figure it out.
My response to anybody that, because I've had a few people going, oh, well, he did that before he was president. My response is, and you still voted for him. Right. He had 17 sexual misconduct allegations on him before he was president.
I mean, he literally said he literally has like audio actually saying that he actually just does things of a sexual deviant.
Oh, Elliot Spitzer. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Spitzer.
Oh,
If they don't like it, I still try to kiss him, even if they don't want it. And you still voted for him.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about having sex with Paris Hilton before she was even 15, and you still voted for him. You knew about the businesses he shitted out of millions of dollars that worked for him and did things for him, and you still voted for him. So you can't come and say it was before he was president. It doesn't matter when you knew what happened before he was president.
There's certainly there's certainly a character element to this. Like there's something about, because it's like everything that you keep reading about, and like I said, let's, if the argument always comes from a standpoint of him as a person, then if we're talking about character, I mean, a lot of this stuff that he does points to cheating somebody, misleading, just straight up bullying, all these things just kind of play into that. I mean, the man had three different children from three different women, and right before he was elected, you have this allegation that took place right beforehand. So it's like, this is like, he's an habitual offender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's at some point you just got to be like, if you didn't vote for him based on his character elements, I guess you can sleep at night.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like,
you can't avoid that.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a certain level. At what point do we say, like, what is the job of the president? Is it for him to fulfill an administrative role as the leader of this country? Because let's be honest, there are people who are like, you might have someone who is a terrible, like the most horrible drunk ever, but they are an awesome musician, and you'll listen to their music simply because they make good music, but you will not trust them going out anywhere. But in this role, what we've made the president into is they are the face of how they are the I would say almost like the social barometer of what America is. And I mean, and if you're looking at it that way, it's like it's a little hard to say that it's all right, because
to your drunk musician reference, okay, you can have a musician who's a terrible drunk but a great musician and hire him to come to your bar and perform, but eventually he's going to start drinking while he's playing.
Yeah.
That outside life is going to come inside,
right? And you want to avoid that, and it's straight. I'm not knocking anyone I'm not knocking anyone who made the decision. It's like, at some point you just got to be like, hey, look, this is not a good idea. This was not a good idea. Yeah, right. Like, it's like, now we're at the point where it's like, okay, like what else can he do to surprise us? Like,
we got 3 years, brother. We got 3 years.
And unfortunately, I don't think I think we have given so much credit to, like, oh, it's just him. Like, what point are we just going to be like, this is just not right?
Listen, if you have to praise your president for saying a complete paragraph without saying something stupid every time he does it, then something's wrong. Something's wrong, because every time he gets up there and he does a speech and he doesn't say anything,
that was presidential.
They come back and, oh, it was so presidential. He did really good in that speech. Are you expecting him to fuck up on every speech to the point where you have to praise him for not cursing somebody out?
Yep.
It's at that point, and it's sad. You should expect your president to get up there and not say anything not presidential.
I mean, he called the guy from was it ABC? I forgot the gentleman's name.
Oh, the what did he call him? Something son of a bitch.
Yeah, he called him son of a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's like, when are we going? Because he had and then, like, his economic guy, Steve Mnuchin, like, then went back and was like, oh yeah, well, he just gets up there and starts calling people different names. It's just him, and dude was like,
Yeah, he called Chuck Todd a sleeping son
Chuck
of a
Todd, yeah.
He made the presidency a reality TV show.
You know what?
It's comedy.
Go ahead.
When his 4 years are up, the highlights of this fucking thing is gonna be so sad that we're gonna laugh.
Right.
I honestly believe we don't see it, but I honestly believe he has cameras following him around, and this is just going to be one long 4-year sitcom. He's done.
It's too much, man. Like at some point, we just gotta be like, look, this is like let's quit the comedy, man. Let's get to work.
Oh, girl, what's her name? Huckabee. What's the girl's name?
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
She's just exhausted.
Well,
I feel sorry for her. I don't, I don't even pick on her anymore. I feel sorry for her because she has to come out here and put this facade on, and I think she's just melting, and that's why her face looks like that. Just all of the minutia and fumes of the shit that she has to shovel is just getting to her, and I honestly feel sorry for her because it's hard. It has to be hard work.
I don't. And Folk Spicer,
you have to sweep shit every week because every week he's going to do something stupid.
But what you got to understand is, again, same with the education lady. They don't care if that 1 hour is the hardest part of your day, and you can fuck around the other two. You're good. You're telling me I only have to tap dance for 1 hour a day? I'm good. Their job is not hard. Our job is to make their job hard now.
Well,
they don't want to do their job no more.
Yeah, I expect her to get up here and be like, "The president did not." Did not mean to call him a stupid son of a bitch. Man. Well, she got the Forrest Whitaker eye. Forrest got his shit.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
And what's Shrek's wife name?
Fiona.
She looked just like Fiona, dude.
I feel sorry for her, man. She was probably a really nice lady before I started.
I don't give a fuck.
She was probably getting into heaven, all that. But
dude,
now you're not.
You're stupid.
Go to hell.
At some point.
All right, fellas. It was a pretty good episode. I think we covered a good bit.
Yes, we did. Y'all are true.
Yeah. Good show.
Hey, all our listeners, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Absolutely.
Keep up the constructive.
Even if you listen later.
We may be changing venues, but if we do, we'll let you know where we're going.
Huh?
We'll talk about it later.
Oh,
looking at some other hosting sites.
Yeah. Got you.
But anyway, this has been another episode of The Company. I got the name right.
You need to just tape it to your monitor. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I probably need to do. Next weekend, we'll be back maybe Sunday, maybe Monday, depending on when we can get everybody together again. We're going to come up with some more topics, throw it at you. We're going to stay on topic.
Let's do a Sunday.
Maybe not. What?
Let's do a Sunday so I can drink.
Why not?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
All right. We're going to see y'all next week. Y'all be good. Anybody want to say anything parting?
No. Good night.
So you want to say bitch real quick?
No, I'm good. Thanks, man.
You know you want to do it.
Motherfucker.